What's up, folks? Me just being a little silly. What's happening? Steeler Nation, what is happening? Here we go, Steelers. What's happening? I know you guys are happy. I know you guys are excited, but you know what? I'm still gonna have the same energy that I've also had throughout this season leading up to this game. But anyway, we're gonna enjoy the moment for a while, right? Welcome to the latest episode of the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field. What is happening, man? What a game. What a game. I hope you guys' hearts are okay. Hope your blood pressure has lowered. Man. Heart attack kids, I tell you, man, and what did I say? Didn't I say that this team is going to do just enough competing to give you hope, to give you some type of hope, some sense of pride in the team? But we'll get into it. But man, first and foremost, let's say what's up to the early commenters. See who we got up in here, man. And I know y'all are in here probably way early. The microphone is too loud here. Let me turn it down, guys. Here we go. Let's do it. Dietrich Bundick, Rajan 39, hello Sade, hello Miss Lady, how you doing? Appreciate you coming through this evening. Champagne to Dawn. Let's see. Yeah, you right. I had to catch my breath, Champagne. Man, we're gonna talk about it. Build his life. What up, Kenyon? You know I already been talking to you, man. Sport 8. Who else we got? Miss Lanisha. How you doing, Miss Lanisha? How you doing this evening? Hope you are well. Lagoon Tours Bahamas. Okay. Appreciate you coming through. You got any tours you can throw our way? Charlie Brown, Ghost Marley, Leonard Green, Eric McDuffie, Marlon Nicholson. What's good, Marlon? Q is in the building. Joshua Shields in the building. Who else is up in here, man? My man Build His Life in the building. The Real Deal in the building. Walter Worthy, Football Mon 02. Deron Covington. Mr. Fett. Rocco White. Who else we got in here? Let me scroll down because this is from way early. Miguel Alvarez, Vista Light, Alex Dingy, Cutboy 412, and Still Matic. We'll stop it right there. My man Y Diggy in the building as well. What's up, Y Diggy? All right, let's get into it, guys. Where are my notations? Y'all know how I do. We're going to talk about the inactives first. And you know one thing I didn't notate? I didn't notate the in-game injury. Somehow I missed doing that. But the one that I do recall was Dan Moore went down for a while. But I'm not sure if anyone else did. So you guys can let me know. I don't recall any other injuries. There probably were some, but I may have missed them. But anyway, the inactives for the day, we already knew about Joe Hayden. We already knew about Bugs. But then we found out, of course, Anthony McFarland was inactive again. Dwayne Haskins, inactive again. And then Carlos Davis. So I thought it was very interesting that Carlos Davis was inactive, being as that he was reactivated on the 53-man roster, right? And I thought it was interesting that he was inactive. And the reason why I say that is because that let me know right off the bat that Adams was going to get some playing time. And, you know, from what I saw, Adams held his own. Adams was doing okay early in that game. You know, I'll be honest and saying I didn't really pay much attention to him as the game progressed. But from what I remember seeing, he was doing okay. And we had been hearing it all week. You know, Chris Wormley had said he was playing well. So I thought that was interesting, man, that this guy comes right in on the practice squad and he gets the nod, even though Carlos Davis is coming back. He gets the nod over Carlos Davis. So that's interesting. In-game penalties. TJ Watt was called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Stupid. Adams was called for defensive holding. That was ticky-tack. Did kind of have his hand on both guys, but I don't know. I don't know if he actually held or not, but whatever. We'll accept it. Cody White was called for holding on the second half kickoff. Kendrick Green was called for a face mask after an incomplete pass. Now, that was interesting to me. Remember that play? And they ruled the pass as incomplete? So if it was incomplete and in essence the play didn't happen, how could you be called for face mask After the fact, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the rules. So I don't know if. I guess you could be penalized at any time if you do like a personal foul. So maybe that's why it was able to be called. But yeah, Kendrick Green lost his head a little bit there. James Washington was called for offensive pass interference. You guys remember that play? And then I also have here Minka was called for pass interference on Hollywood Brown. Kind of a tough cover there, man, by Minka. But I'm just pointing out the penalties. If I missed one, my bad. So, first defensive series, the Ravens start the drive at their own 25. Freeman picks up 14 yards on a dump off from Lamar. After that, he was able to scramble for 12 yards. Steelers gives up a 3rd and 10 on that drive. Murray was able to beat Schobert in kind of somewhat of a little angle route. It looked like, I got to watch the tape to really see, but I just know when I glanced at it, Murray was coming across the field, so it was probably more so of an angle route type of situation. He's able to get in front of Schobert. Freeman rips off a 19-yard run. Wormley is able to get a sack on Lamar, and the Steelers are able to force Lamar Jackson into a pickoff by one. Minka Fitzpatrick. Let me give a round of applause to Minka Fitzpatrick. Let me say why this was important. Minka has made 2 plays now in back-to-back games, again, because people have been writing him off, right? Great interception. And whether you want to say Lamar made the wrong read, I don't know. However, this is the reason why I want to point this out. Do you guys remember what I said in the pregame show? Terrell Edmonds had said during the week, he said that they know when Lamar scrambles, he likes to look for Mark Andrews, right? Likes to look for Mark Andrews. So he said we're going to have to keep our eye on guys like him and Hollywood Brown. So I thought it was very fitting that in this particular example, Lamar scrambling around and he tries to find Mark Andrews. And remember what I said in the pregame show, that they need to plaster Mark Andrews and know where he is at all times when this situation arises. Remember I said that? And lo and behold, Minka was Johnny on the spot, and we got an interception off it on very, very first drive. So I thought that was very impressive. Round of applause to my man, Shadow Slayer, man. Appreciate the donation. Let's see. He says, Sim, you were right about Chris Wormley. He had a game today, but the tackling still bad, but the defense did its job. Yeah, man, Chris Wormley did his thing. Chris Wormley played very, very, very well, as I will agree. There was still some leaks in the tackling that I did not like. I definitely can agree with you there. But, yeah, Chris Wormley played well, man. And I'm actually, as I'm saying that, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to pull up the stats of the game. I know I should have already had this available, but I wanted to definitely take a look at what both of those boys did. Speaking of Chris Wormley and one TJ Watt. And you guys might hear a little bit of noise here in the background. My son had to get something out the little closet here in the man cave, but it's all good. What you need, man? No. Don't come over here. What you trying to get?
I'm trying to get toilet paper.
Okay, go ahead. So give me a second, guys. Let me handle him real fast. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's it. Just take that one.
I'm only getting 2 for mommy.
Yeah, but just take the one. I'll bring some more.
I got it. I'll just get one.
All right, guys. So I wanted to pull up the statistics here defensively, so I have them when I get to that point. But yeah, Chris Wormley played exceptionally well, man. He did. He had a game today. All right, so first offensive series. Harris picks up 2 yards on first down. Harris picks up another 7 yards right after that. Positive, right? We get ourselves into a 3rd and 1, and guess what? Steelers are unable to convert in short yardage. 3rd and 1, we go 3 and out, and the Steelers run right into not even just a packed box, but they run out of the jumbo set. The Ravens stack the line of scrimmage, and we try to run right into that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But it's disappointing, man, when you're able to get a turnover. Minka Fitzpatrick gets a turnover, right? So you basically take a possession away from the Ravens, and then you go 3 and out. You can't do that, man. You cannot do that. All right, so key moments. Steelers force a 3 and out on the very next drive. So kudos to the defense. We went 3 and out, then our defense come right back and go 3 and out on them. So that was great. Second drive, the Steelers come out in an empty set. How many times have y'all heard me say that this year? Steelers take a shot on 3rd and 2, unable to convert and go 3 and out. How many times have y'all heard me say that this year? We take a shot on 3rd and 2. So we go 3 and out, 2 consecutive 3 and outs. But Presley Harvin with an outstanding punt. Man, what a punt. Did you guys remember that one where he punted that ball and it bounced out just inside the 1 yard line, and the Ravens are forced to start on basically their own 1 yard line. But let's talk about that next drive. TJ Watt was able to get a sack on that next drive, man, on Lamar Jackson. We forced a 3rd and 7. Steelers give up first down to Andrews. TJ gets called for the unsportsmanlike conduct. And then Baltimore was able to, again, convert a 3rd down, which was 3rd and 6, I think, at the time. And then after a false start, the Ravens are backed up. Yeah, here we go. It was 3rd and 1. They got a false start, backed them up to 3rd and 6. And then the Ravens are able to convert downfield to Mark Andrews. Ravens end the drive with the touchdown to Devontae Freeman. And I put this in big, bold letters. Ravens started the drive on their own 1 yard line. They also showed a graphic where that was the first time in the series history that a 99-yard touchdown drive had been given up. So I did not like that. You guys know my grits were boiling at that point. But anyway, let's keep it moving, good people. 3rd offensive possession by the Steelers. Drive starts with a halfback screen. Nice pickup by Najee Harris. I like that. Okay, Matt Canada, you showed yourself a little bit in this game today. Not as much as some of us would prefer, but you showed a couple wrinkles. So it was a nice little halfback screen there. Steelers would then got forced into a 3rd and 11, and the Steelers were unable to convert. And the Ravens should have been called for unnecessary roughness. Remember that hit on Deontay Johnson? Now listen, I'm a football guy. I played, strong safety. I understand. I like that kind of hit in theory. But in today's NFL, that should have been called for unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness. Excuse me. It should have been unnecessary roughness, being that the ball was uncatchable, virtually uncatchable. And Clark landed that big hit on Deontay Johnson. No flag. But either way, Steelers unable to convert on that drive. Very next drive, Wormley gets a sack on Lamar Jackson. So this is now 2 sacks by Wormley. Brought up a 3rd and 9. The Steelers get off the field with a sack on Lamar by Cam Hayward. So at this point, the defense was doing what they were supposed to do. Okay? We had been holding the Ravens down for most of that game. Yeah, we had given up the 99-yard touchdown. That still doesn't sit right with me. But for the most part, at this point, man, we hadn't given up too much to the Ravens. However, we come right back on the 4th offensive drive. And my man Deontay Johnson dropped a clear touchdown. Man, clear touchdown. I know you guys remember that one. I mean, when Ben let the ball go, I got nervous. Because, again, I just get nervous when we throw the ball outside the numbers. Because a lot of times we're throwing it into we're either throwing it into a hole shot or it's one-on-one and the ball could be short sometimes. It just makes me nervous. But when I saw where Deontay Johnson was, and I saw the ball start to come down, and I was like, man, this is about to be a touchdown. Beautiful throw. And Deontay unable to reel that thing in, man. But listen, it happens. And here's the thing that impresses me about Deontay Johnson this season. Up until that point, I think that was his 2nd or 3rd drop on the year. So I know people can say what they want to say about him, but the kid improved his game this year. Y'all can slander him all you want. I'm not on that train. Deontay Johnson is the Steelers' number one receiver. He is an NFL number 1. As long as he's catching the football and he's able to secure the football, he is that guy. So I'm going to give him his props today, man. But that drop, that one was ugly. No question about it. Yeah, and you said that was his 3rd. Yeah. And come on, man. That's can't be mad at that, man. But come on, DJ, you got to catch that one. But anyway, our man Boswell continues to be money, man. at least on the field goal, right? Kicks a 53-yard field goal at this time. It's 7-3 Ravens going into the half. That's about all you can ask for from a defense that had been giving up a plethora of running yards, okay? This is the defense that I talked about last night saying, man, I don't trust it. This is the same defense I've been saying, man, we ain't been able to stop nobody against the run. And we held the Ravens to 7 points by halftime. That is something you have to applaud, and I'm going to do it. Applause to that defense. Real Fact says call Ryan Clark into the office. Nah, I'm not going to call Ryan into the office. I'm going to explain how I feel about Ryan Clark, his comments this week. I'll get to that. Definitely remind me to do it if I don't get to it. Second half. Fifth drive, only the fifth offensive drive at this point. And time of possession, my goodness, did y'all see that time of possession, man? The Ravens, I think at that time had the ball. It was like 23 minutes versus 6.5 minutes or something crazy like that. But the fifth drive starts at the 10-yard line after a hold by Cody White, Ray McCloud makes a big catch for a gain of 30 yards on Marlon Humphrey, but the ball hit the ground. And this might be a controversial call, man. It was called a touchdown. A touchdown. What am I talking about? It was called a completion. It was called a completion on the field, and they overturned it. And me personally, I felt like, as Tony is my witness, because I forgot to tell you guys, my brother Tony, man, we came up and we watched the game today. It was myself, him, and Leonard all watched the game over at Leonard's house, man. Had a great time. My niece came up, so I got to see her as well. So, yeah, it was good to see Tony and my niece, man. And like I said, it's always a good time when you can watch the game with other fans, especially family. So it was good for Tony to come up. We joke about saying Tony might have to turn around and come back on Thursday. Keep that same sitting arrangement and everything so we'll win again. But anyway, you can ask those guys. I was like, I don't know, man. I think the ball did touch the ground, but I didn't think that he lost control of it. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just me. So I don't know how you overturn that if you call it a catch. Had they called it incomplete, I would say the same thing. I don't know if you overturn it and call it a catch. You see what I'm saying? So I just don't know if there was enough evidence to actually say that that was not a catch. But it is what it is, man. You can't cry over spilled milk, right? So anyway, at that point, the Steelers are forced to punt. Next drive by the Ravens, the Steelers give up a 3rd and 11, another dump down to Devontae Freeman. The Steelers were able to hold the Ravens at that point to a field goal, and we get away with them just having the score at that point, 10-3. Thank you, Nick Combs, man. Nick Combs, thank you. I really appreciate you and appreciate the subscription and you becoming a part of the family, man. So thank you for that. Who is this in here talking about his rig? Come on, man. Just listen. Let me say this. Y'all can have your opinion and all of that, but let me just say this, and I probably speak for a lot of people. Nobody cares about all of that. And the reason why I say that is because for those who think that sports are rigged, fine. But let other people enjoy the entertainment, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the day I know for a fact that sports is rigged, I ain't watching it no more. You feel what I'm saying? And of course, none of us are naive. I'm sure there's things that go on, but so what? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So what? Because if it is rigged, right? It ain't often rigged in favor of the team that you want to win. So it really doesn't matter. It's not like the Steelers get all the breaks, the Ravens get all the breaks, this team get all the breaks. So what? So just go somewhere with all of that, man. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't come over here doing that, because this is not what we about. We over here just having a good time. So if you keep coming over here with some type of an objective, like you're trying to have an objective with your message, then I gotta block you, because we don't deal with all of the nonsense over here. That's all I'm saying. Respectfully, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm saying don't come in here with a room of people that's just enjoyed watching a football game. You know what I'm saying? With all of the negative energy, man. Don't do that. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying, guys. 10-3. 10-3. At this point, the Steelers get the ball again. 6th drive. Steelers convert a 3rd and 3 with a slant to Deontay Johnson. Didn't see too many slants today, but that one worked. Steelers unable to convert the very next 3rd down. They were forced to punt it back to the Ravens. Okay, on the next defensive drive or so, the Steelers get the Ravens at a 3rd and 8, and the Steelers give up a 17-yard strike to Hollywood Brown. Come on, man. Come on, Steelers. That 3rd down, man, our 3rd down game was not that good today defensively, guys. But Wormley gets another sack on Lamar Jackson, and Watt probably gets a half sack on that one as well, but that was good. We were able to force them to punt. So, again, that's the key. And I, of course, you can't write the same script every week, but the key is when you give up 3 and out, or if you don't do anything offensively, the objective is to make sure the other team doesn't either. So it was cool for the Steelers to get the ball back after having the punt. 7th offensive drive, the Steelers convert a 3rd and 1 with a play action to Chase Claypool. The Steelers were then able to score on a play action to Deontay Johnson, where Deontay Johnson kind of ran that pivot route, if I remember correctly. Was that the one? And and then Boswell, that man Bos misses the extra point. And I'm not going to call Bos into the office, man, because, listen, Boswell has been the man for us. It happens, but that was an ugly kick. That ball was so far to the left, like, wow. But like I said, I ain't going to get on my man Bos, man, because it happens, right? Next up, Minka Fitzpatrick almost comes up with another interception, a one-handed interception at that. No, that wasn't at this one. This was the Hollywood Brown one, I think. Minka was called for pass interference. I'm reading my own notes wrong. Minka was called for pass interference, and the Ravens were able to move the ball to the Steelers' 19. But the Steelers hold the Ravens to a field goal, and at this point, it is 13-9 Baltimore Ravens. So again, the defense was stepping up when they needed to step up. We have a donation. Oh, look at this. Beheadedy. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. I know you think everything is rigged, so I question the subscription because this is what I do over here. I talk football and Steelers stuff. So, but thank you. I guess maybe I'm entertaining enough to warrant your viewing. So, thank you very much. And thank you, Victory Asher, man. Round of applause for the donation. He says, I'm Big Ben's worst critic, but he proved me wrong today. Ben balled today. He left his heart out there on the field. Mad respect, for real. You know what? Yeah, man. And I'm going to comment on Big Ben at the end of the show, but I'm not going to forget what you're saying here. Actually, hold on. Let me do a quick copy and paste. I'm going to put it here at the bottom of my notes so that way I don't forget to come back to your point here. But yeah, man, Big Ben, listen, I'll get into it because I want to discuss a little more about what, the stuff, the conversations that's come out about him reportedly saying, so I'll get into that in a minute. But thank you for your donation, Victory. And let me not just assume that you are a male. Victory Asher could mean anything. So if you by chance a female, sorry for me not saying that, but thank you, Victory Asher, for the donation. Let's see. On the 8th drive, Steelers were unable to get, what did I put here? Oh, okay. I didn't write the whole note. I said the Steelers were unable to convert. They were in a situation where, we could continue to get the drive moving, but we were unable to, score or convert on 3rd down later in that drive. And the Steelers were forced to get another field goal, which at that point brought the game to 13-12 in favor of the Ravens. Next defensive possession. TJ Watt gets a sack on Lamar Jackson, brings up 3rd and 15. Steelers force a 3 and out, and Witherspoon almost gets a pick. Great recovery, or just great recognition by Ahkello Witherspoon on that particular route. And let's talk about that a little bit. And mind you, I know if you guys listen to the Terrible Podcast with Dave and Alex, and you follow Steelers Depot, you guys would probably know who Dr. Mel is. Dr. Mel was at the game tonight. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was her very first time at Heinz Field. So I know she had to feel that energy. I'm actually going to tweet her, man, and see if I can get her to respond to me. I know she had to feel that energy of Renegade being played because it was right before that. He even talked about it on the broadcast. You saw the towels swinging. And for any of you guys who have never been to Heinz Field, when we're about to take the field defensively and you see them towels going like that, they just played Renegade and it worked. It gave some energy. TJ Watt gets a sack. We get him in 3rd and 15. We force the 3 and out. And a Kilo Witherspoon, man, and I'm going to get to the donation here in just a second, but I don't want to forget my point about a Kilo. He played that great, man, because I'm telling you, Tony will tell you, when I saw that ball leave Lamar Jackson's hand and he threw it deep, I was like, oh, no. And he had Hollywood Brown to his left, and you had Mark Andrews streaking up the seam. And Akilo was able to, he comes off of Hollywood Brown, breaks on the ball, and almost picked that thing off. That was an outstanding play by Witherspoon. Outstanding. But round of applause, man, to Amos Kozuli. Please let me know if I'm saying that incorrect. I apologize. But round of applause for the donation. I see somebody say we need to lose out. We'll talk about it. But Amos says, as a Steelers fan, I'm happy I was wrong about the Steelers getting blown out in this one. Let Ben cook. Deontay and TJ are dogs. Yeah, man, it is cool when, remember guys, when I said that this team is going to do just enough to compete, to give us the hope or false hope or whatever you want to call it. It is good to see your team still scrap and fight, right? And it's good to beat not only a divisional opponent, not only a division rival, but, you know, the Ravens were at the top of the AFC coming into this game. So it's always good to see your team rise to the occasion, if you will, and get wins like that. Because, again, it lets you know what your team could be. Or it lets you know the kind of heart that the team has, you know. And, again, people always talk. Remember all that soft talk people was talking about? I'm just saying. Let's keep it moving. 9th drive. The Steelers pick up a 3rd and 2 with a pass to Zach Gentry. Ravens get called for a pass interference on Deontay Johnson. Remember, that was the 3rd and 2. And I didn't necessarily like that play, but, you know, I guess you trust going to Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson looks like he definitely would have won on that kind of that quick comeback route. I guess it would be more like a smash concept, if you will. Pass interference keeps the drive going. And then Deontay Johnson scores on a great route. You know, he ran kind of that pivot route. Some people call it a channel route. And boom, Deontay Johnson gets wide open for the touchdown. That was beautiful. And then also, we convert the 2-point conversion. We converted the 2-point conversion to Freiermuth. And I missed a touchdown somewhere in here, guys. I just thought about it because I don't have the other Deontay Johnson touchdown. Remember the first one he caught? Hold on. I'm not tripping, right? Deontay Johnson, yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. So somehow I don't have that in my notes here. But you guys remember that one. The one where it was a great play design and Deontay Johnson comes across the middle, wide open. That was great. But for some reason, somehow I missed my notation on that. So, but there you have it. But anyway, so my chronicalization here as far as which drive, I missed a drive somewhere. So if you were counting those drives, my bad. But yeah, Deontay Johnson did his thing. And again, on this particular touchdown I'm talking about here was the one when he had the little in and out pivot route. And then we converted a 2-point conversion. Great throw by Ben Roethlisberger, getting it over the defense to Pat Freiermuth. But then my man Boz, you know what, Boz? I am going to call you in the office. Come in the office really quick, Boz. This is a quick visit. Boz, I got to ask you something. Because I've asked this question quite often when I watch the Pittsburgh Steelers games, right? And listen, I'm not a kicker, so I don't know how easy or how uneasy it is to do this. But I often ask myself sometimes, why is it that we don't just kick the ball out the end zone all the time? Now, I know you can't kick it the same way every time, and I know sometimes the wind is going to affect it. And I know, again, just depending on how you hit the ball, it might not get all the way out. But that was one of the times, Boz, where I needed you to kick that ball through the end zone. Instead, the ball stops short and it finds its way out of bounds. And my goodness, we give the Ravens the ball at the 40-yard line. So, Boz, I just need you to work on, man, if you can be a little more consistent with kicking the ball out the end zone. There's no need to allow guys to return the ball at all. Unless it's planned. Unless the plan is by Danny Smith or Tomlin or whoever makes the call, try to keep it short and try to pin guys deep. That does exist. But I would rather us kick the ball through the end zone, especially in that situation. You cannot kick the ball out of bounds and give the Ravens the ball at their own 40-yard line. So, but all right, let's keep it moving. So as I just said there, guys, the Ravens get the ball at the 40. The Ravens are called for a false start on the Minka Fitzpatrick pickoff. Man, don't y'all wish sometimes? I wish. Let me see how y'all feel about this. Actually, hold on. Because I'm going to say it after I finish this. I'm going to ask this question after I finish this, but I want to see you guys' comments. But it's about that false start. But anyway, they called for false start. Minka would have had an interception right there, would have had his second of the game. But then TJ Watt was able to force a strip sack on Lamar Jackson, brought up a 3rd and 14, but then the Ravens convert. Come on, Steelers. Again, the third down, situational defense. We weren't that great today. We were okay, but we gave up too many third down situations, 3rd and longs. But then the Ravens were able to drive right down the field. They were able to score. And then y'all know what happened after that. The Ravens, for whatever reason, decided to go for 2. And, I guess they wanted to put theirs on the table and let them hang. And we're going to go win this game. But thank God, our defensive player of the year, TJ Watt, did enough to at least get in the pathway of Lamar Jackson and kind of force Lamar to throw it just a little bit off, And Andrews unable to come up with the one-handed catch. He drops the ball, and the Steelers win the game. And there you have it. But I want to talk about that false start. I'm going to ask you guys this question. How do you guys feel about false starts sometimes being allowed to play out the same way offsides does? And what I mean is this. You know how offsides, they let it play out if the guy is not, uninvaded to the quarterback. If it's kind of like he just jumps and they let the play roll. I feel like they should do the same thing with false start. If it's a semi-false start, meaning that he moves a little early, but then the play continues to run, they should give the defense the ability to decline it, depending on the outcome of the play. I feel like that. And seeing what happened tonight kind of made me think about that. Now, again, if somebody is the only man that jumps up, you know what I'm saying? If he's the only one who jumps or something like that, and it's a clear false start, then, of course, you blow the play dead. But I feel like in situations like today, you should allow it to play out, even the ones where it's a legal formation. Because a lot of times they allow the legal formation play to continue rolling. I think the defense should be able to decline. And I understand, I see somebody, see Lydell saying it's a pre-snap penalty. I understand that, but so is offsides. You see what I'm saying? And you see how sometimes they allow the offsides. I'm just saying, I don't know. I think that should be something that they should do. But again, it is a pre-snap penalty, but I just feel like, maybe they could have a variation of it the same way they do offsides and encroachment and all of that. But I don't know. Few highlights that I had here that I wanted to talk about as far as takeaways. Steelers unable to convert the ball, man. They're unable to convert on 3rd and short. And it was 2 consecutive drives to open the game that happened to us. And I feel like the Steelers, we continue to run out of these jumbo sets. And I don't know why. When we're facing teams that, got everybody on the line of scrimmage or they got the box stacked, why do we go bunch like that? Bunched up, not bunch formation, but why do we bunch into like a jumbo set and we get all, go heavy and try to run right up the middle? Some people would say, well, yeah, man, if you can't get a yard, I get all that, but this is why I challenge that. Not with this offensive line. Not with Kendrick Green that doesn't usually get pushed. That's the reason why I say don't do that. I think right now we run the football out of more of a spread situation in 3rd and 1. at least you might get a hat on a hat, or at least you give Najee time to put his hand on the back of somebody and find a hole and wiggle his way into the first down. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. Traditionally, yeah, you line up a mano and go get that yard, but not with the way this offensive line, particularly the center, has not won the line of scrimmage. When I don't have a center that can get pushed and I can just run it right up the middle, nah, I'm not running out of jumbo like that on a key down. That's just me. Just me. Let's see. Witherspoon. I got a real question for you guys, man. And I know it's just one game, so I'm not going to overreact. But, should Witherspoon see a little more time? I was kind of surprised that Pierre got benched. Y'all notice that? Witherspoon was the guy today. He was the guy. Now, you expect Joe Hayden to come back, but I'm going to tell you so, man. I'm going to tell you something. Witherspoon played well today. Should the Steelers consider him, a little bit more? And is Witherspoon the type of guy that might be able to get on track, get his head together, and he turns out to be something? I don't know. I'm just asking. It's just one game, so I'm not overreacting, but the boy played very well today for the most part. Now, it is still TBD until I see the film, but Witherspoon did his thing, man. Witherspoon did his thing. He might be a guy that we keep around. So, yeah, just saying. Yeah, definitely Reggie Reg. I hope he doesn't, regress as well. So let's just keep an eye on it, man. And maybe he's gotten himself together, man. And like I said, I'm going to really hone in on watching the secondary, because that's another takeaway that I have here. Do y'all realize how good that secondary played today? They gave up a couple passes. But think about this. Think about the amount of times that Lamar Jackson dropped back and was holding on to that ball. Think about it. I mean, it started early in the game. That lets you know there's nobody open downfield. Hollywood Brown didn't get loose. Andrews didn't get loose. They had a couple catches. That secondary was balling. They played very well. Still had some tackle issues, but they played well, man. Why Diggy says Tomlin did say that changes were going to be made. Yeah, I'm going to get into that too. The only other couple things I have here, I'm noticing, and I said this last week, Highsmith is starting to play that run very well, man. Highsmith is starting to show up a lot again in the run game. I think his sacks are coming. His sacks will come. I'm not worried. They will come. His slow progression is happening. I think he'll be fine. What is up with Chase Claypool, man? I'm not happy about having this conversation like weekly. Claypool is not playing to his potential. And we said it. A couple of us have been saying this. Claypool needs to be in the slot, I think. I think Claypool just being on the outside and just running straight down the field and go routes, I don't think that's his strong suit right now. Maybe you do it sometimes. You put him outside every now and then, but I don't think you just keep him out there because he's not Martavis Bryant, right? He hasn't shown that he could just blow past the guy. Most of his catches, even on the outside, are contested. And yeah, he makes some big catches. Cool. But I think Claypool would serve much better purpose in the slot. I need to see him take another step. Again, the boy is still young, he's still raw, but it's time for Claypool to really start stepping up, because Deontay Johnson, man, is going to continue to start seeing some coverage. He's going to start seeing some coverage. Deontay Johnson is too good for people to just, let him do his thing. Last thing I have here, man, is how do you guys think Lagu looked at left guard? Why do y'all think that? Why did I ask the question that way? I said, what do y'all think is what I'm trying to say. What do you guys think about Lagu? Again, I got to go back and watch the game, but Lagu seemed to be doing some things over there on letting the left guard. And I saw somebody say earlier before the show started that somebody was asking what offensive line did we have out there to end the game. Well, remember, Dan Moore had come back. But y'all see what happened, and Tony is my witness, and Leonard. As we watching the game, when Moore went down, I said, ooh, you know what we about to see? I think they're going to move Chooks to the left, and Zach Banner's going to come in. And we saw that for a minute. But then when Moore was able to come back in the game, starting, because a lot of people, somebody was asking in the chat, man, what was the starting line later in the game when we started to run a little bit? Well, it was Lagoo. Well, it was Dan Moore, Lagoo, Kendrick Green, Chooks. Who was at right guard? Who am I forgetting, guys? Oh, Trey Turner. So again, it was Dan Moore, Lagoo, Green, Turner, and Chooks. That was your starting offensive line that got it going later in the game. And like I said, guys, I know some people say the O-line sucks and all of that. The offensive line, we know it's a rebuild, but these guys are going to be up and down, and that's expected. But you see some good moments from them. You see some not so good moments from them. And I think it really starts at that interior. You know, I laugh and I turn around and I tell Tony while we watching the game. I say turn around, guys, because I sit fairly close to the TV when I'm at Leonard's house. I have a chair of his that I put up there, and they usually sitting back on the couch. So I turn to Tony and say, man, Kendrick Green finds his way on the ground in every game. I just don't understand it. Every game. Boy finds his way on the ground. Round of applause to Luis D for the donation. That's a good question, Luis. Let's read it. He says, by Claypool taking a step back this year, do you put the blame on the receivers coach, Ike Hilliard? Don't know if you saw my question on Twitter. That is a great question. But Luis, what I actually would say, to be honest, did he take a step back, or has he been more of the same? Because I don't know if I could say that Chase Claypool really was at a point where I could say he took a step back, if that makes sense. And I actually think maybe this season he may have caught more combated catches this year, actually. But I think from what we all would like to see from him, I don't think I was seeing that last year either, to be honest. But that's a good question. I mean, it is a good question. You have to ask, is he being developed by Ike Hilliard? I mean, I would like to say that Ike Hilliard knows what he's doing. He played the position, played it well. But yeah, I don't think he's regressed. I think he's been pretty much the same. And then, you know, with Juju not being in there with him, that definitely plays a factor. Definitely plays a factor. So, but yeah, that's a good question, man. Oh, and I see Tony in here commenting. Yeah, guys, Tony was here with me, man. He's on the way back home. So, yeah. And listen, let's get back to the last little thing here I wanted to wrap up as far as Ben Roethlisberger. But actually, before I get into Ben, here's a question I have. And I haven't seen much of it here in the chat. And I know I'm not going to see it. It's definitely from the opposers. And again, this is not me being on one side of the fence or the other. I'm just simply putting out something that I consistently say. When we win football games, rarely do I see any credit given to Mike Tomlin. Why is that? Remember, I'm the guy who always says, look, man, I think coaches get too much credit when we win, and I think coaches get too much blame when we lose. Don't I always say that? So my question is, are y'all going to say the coaches did this, or was those the players executing today? Because this is the argument I make every week when people say it's coaching, they never think it's the players. Or when people say it's the players, and they never blame the coaching. I always say, no, it's a little bit of both. You know, the coaches put them in position, scheme, personnel, decision-making, those type of things, play calling, but players execute. So I want to know who won the game today. See, a lot of people saying it's both. Some people said Tomlin ain't the problem. Okay. And I know, and some of you guys are very consistent in what you're saying, but I'm just talking about the people who always blame Tomlin for stuff. Oh, here's one. Has Jaffer says Tomlin problem is the playoffs. Yeah, Tomlin doesn't have the greatest record over the last 10 years in the playoffs. I think we all agree to that. But usually that's not the argument. That's not usually the argument. The argument is most of the time people just want him to be fired. Okay, all right. I see y'all giving some credit. And this is what I'm saying, man. Listen, coaches coach, players execute. So I'm even sitting here today, I'm not saying that Tomlin won this game because I never do that. I always say, let's go through my list again. I look at coaches for scheme and personnel utilization, play calling, situational moments, time management, things of that nature. That's where I'm looking at the coaches. The players, I blame them for executing. Blown assignments, that's on players. Missed tackles, that's on players. Being out of position, that's on players. And when I say out of position, I'm talking about while you're in your zone, you're drifting too far or something like that. That's players. So today, what I saw was a more focused effort. Because like I said, I can't wait to watch this film because clearly we were doing something. We were doing something to take the secondary away for most of that game. Like the secondary was playing their butts off today. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Like I said, I'm not giving an opinion. I just want to throw it out there to see what you guys had to say. And it's interesting because, they said that Thomas' message was strong this week and he made them put pads on this week. And here's the thing. People are going to say, see, we should be doing it every week. They can't. They can't. Everyone has said that all teams have a very limited capacity in which they can put on pads. That's why most teams don't even do it during the season. Most teams don't do it out of fear of someone getting hurt. So for those that are going to say, see, that's all they had to do. Well, the rules state they can't do it. They have to pick their spots when to have a padded practice. But anyway, man, this was an outstanding game, outstanding performance, man, by a couple guys, and I'm going to highlight those guys right now. Man, one TJ Watt, one Chris Wormley, one Deontay Johnson, one Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger played a heck of a game today, man. 21 out of 31, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, protected the football, threw a couple interceptable balls in theory. I told you he's going to do it every game. But Ben played a good game today, man. You cannot take anything away from Ben, especially, in light of all of the news that came out that, that apparently Ben has told his teammates privately that this will be his last season. I don't think that should be a surprise to anybody. I don't. We came into this with the notion that this would be his last season. But I'm consistent with what I've been saying. When Ben Roethlisberger does not have to throw the ball 40 times or more, we can still win. Ben Roethlisberger is still a good enough quarterback with his veteran knowledge and all of that to still win you games. He's on the same page with a Deontay Johnson. You see what I'm saying? Like, we could still win football games with Ben is so long as we're able to have a balanced attack and our defense is playing fairly well. Round of applause to CT Pittman, man. Thank you for the donation. He says, you're right again, under 40 throws and we win, you the GOAT. Nah, man, that ain't me. That's just, look, we might have a game he throws 60 times and we win. I'm just saying, the eye test would just always tell me that that's the way you're going to win with Ben Roethlisberger nowadays, is not making him sling it, having somewhat of a balanced attack. If your defense is playing relatively well, Ben is still going to make you some throws. Ben is still going to be able to conduct that offense in spots and do what he has to do. Ben will still get some type of rhythm. What I don't like still about our offense is it takes too long. Because I can't get excited about this win, guys, and think that, okay, we could still get in the playoffs. Nah, man, this offense still drags too much. Way too much. We can't be. Listen, we scored 17 points in the fourth. Come on, man. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Can't do that. And even if you only score 20, you got to get out early. You got to get out to them leads early and kind of change the game plan of your opponent. Because look, the Ravens was right in the position to win this. They were right there. They were TJ Watt being in the way, Lamar Jackson being slightly off away from winning this game. Think about that. Think about that. They were this close to actually winning the game. But yeah, man. Let me see, man. Let me get to TJ, man. Let me see if I can get these defensive stats here. Them boys was doing their thing, man. Minka Fitzpatrick, 7 tackles, 2 assisted. Kilo Witherspoon with 5 tackles. TJ Watt, 6 total tackles. Oh, hold on, let me go back. He had 6 total tackles. Oh, man, why is it not giving me all of the stats here? Hold on, guys. He had... Oh, we got another donation here. Round of applause. C.T. Pittman with another one. He says, got a tough one coming up Thursday night. Vikes gave Lions their first dub of the season, and we coming off this physical game. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, man. That will be a tough one. We got another donation, man. Round of applause to C. Antoine Hill. You said you just heard the Steelers won't pick up Bush's 5th-year option, and you hope that's not true. Where did you hear that already? I don't know if that information comes out that soon. The season's not even over yet. They don't even have to make a decision on that right now. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all too, man. And I don't know how much his options is gonna cost, but I'm not ready to throw that man in the trash yet either. I know y'all get on him, man, but listen. Oh, thank you, Todd, man, for subscribing. I really appreciate that. I get it. It's one of those things, guys. Again, I'm going to ask this question. What we feel about Devin Bush, did y'all feel about that in his rookie season and before he got hurt last year? Let's put that. Let me ask that question to you guys right now. Did you feel the way you feel about him today in his rookie season and before he got hurt? That's all I want to know. Oh, man, Miss Odessa with the donation. Hello tonight, Odessa. Thank you for coming through, and round of applause to you for the donation. And Smitty just said it. Bush didn't play that bad tonight, y'all. I actually saw. Do y'all remember the play where Bush actually attacked? He attacked the line of scrimmage and made some contact. Jason Winningham says before he got hurt. Oh, Mr. Winningham, hey, sir. He says before he got hurt, he played fast and aggressive in the mode of Ryan Shazier. And Palomalu, after the injury, he just looks like he goes through the motions sometimes. Right. Now, that's what I wanted to talk about. That is a fact. Devin Bush has not been what we thought he was this season. But this is all I'm asking, guys. And I'm not trying to make a case for him. I'm just saying, is it fair to say that his injury is the reason why he plays the way he plays now? Regardless of the reason, whether you think it's a physical thing or mental thing, can we agree that something about that injury has affected his play? Right? If we can agree on that, can we all say maybe he can get out of that funk? Maybe this is just a year. He's going to have a whole offseason to recommit himself and all of that and get his mental back together. See what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I'm saying y'all unfair on this dude, man. It'd be different if he didn't play well before. Then we could say, man, he just ain't going to pan out. But I don't think you can say that about somebody after an injury. Come on, guys. I just don't think that's fair. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think that's a fair thing to do when we know what he's up against this year. I feel you, Thunder God, but I'm just saying there's something wrong with his mental. You see what I'm saying? And I just think the injury contributes to that. And again, the team is going to know. The team is going to know fairly early in the offseason, in training camp, and all. They're going to know. Preseason, they're going to know if he's still in that funk next year. But I just don't think you quit on him right now. I just don't think he can, and you know, we can all agree to disagree on that. All right, so back to what I was saying, guys. Listen, Ben Roethlisberger is more than likely retiring. And it is what it is. It is what it is. This should not become, it should not come as a surprise. It is what it is. And I still feel the same way about the team as I felt yesterday. Round of applause to see Antoine Hill for another donation. He says, I agree with you, Sim. Dude is a beast. Yeah, man, I just don't think you throw away the kid this early. Fred, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because I hate trying to butcher people's name, but thank you for subscribing, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, guys. So I don't want to make this the Devin Bush show, but maybe I'll have a little more to say after I watch the film on this game because I actually think he played a little better. I don't think he trusts that knee, though. I really don't. And like I said, man, it's almost expected after an injury like that with some people. Some people bounce back, some people don't. It takes a year or so. So it is what it is. But anyway, let me finish up what I'm going to say about Ben Roethlisberger as far as the team. No surprise there. I do think it's time. I definitely think it's time for us to, start a new era. And we'll see whether that's free agency or if we draft a guy or what have you. It's not like I'm trying to throw Ben Roethlisberger out. But again, we know it. It's time, man. That man has been beat up. The man has been beat up. He's 39 years old, man. He's made a ton of money. He has nothing else to prove. He really doesn't. It's time. And I'm not going to be upset about him retiring. Actually, if I'm being frank, I'd be more upset if he came back next year because I don't want to continue delaying the inevitable that the Steelers have to start a new era. And I don't think we are a Super Bowl contender right now. Understand what I'm saying? So I'd rather go ahead and just start the new era while we have some of these young pieces, while we have TJ Watt in his prime and guys like that and Najee Harris. Let's go ahead and Deontay Johnson, Minka. Let's go ahead and start that new era. Round of applause to Dwayne Duncantel. Appreciate the donation. Whoa. Y'all said Marlon Humphrey's done? What happened? Oh, man. I hate that. I hate stuff. I just hate injuries like that, man. But Dwayne says, think we can get Pickett to replace Ben like we should have done with Marino. Man, Pickett is going to be a hot ticket. I would love to have Kenny Pickett. I'm sold. Let me go ahead and say that now. Watching that game last night, however you feel like he played, that doesn't just decide it for me. I've watched like 5 games on Kenny Pickett. I'll go back and watch some more because now I have some more detailed things to look at even in those same games. But I'm sold on him. I like this kid. I like the fact that he can run when he wants to. He seems poised. He can throw the ball of course, every quarterback is going to have some rough edges, but I do like Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is probably going to be the hot ticket, though. Does he fall to the Steelers? Maybe. There's reports out there saying that they don't think any of the quarterbacks go in the top 10. So the Steelers could be in play. Perhaps. We'll see. But I'm not gonna just fall in love with the one guy. Riddler was still out there. Coral might still be out there. Malik Willis might be a guy that we can mess around and land, especially if no quarterback is expected to go in the top 10. So we shall see. Man, we got more donations rolling in, man. Guys, you guys are holding it down tonight, man. Let's just say this. C. Brown, Cold Steel, and Darren Covington. Round of applause to all three of you gentlemen. And then after that, guys, I will give you my quick thoughts again on the team. And then I'm going to come into the chat and just chop it up with you guys for a little bit. C. Brown says, Ben, retire. Thank you for your years of service of the team. I agree, Sim. I will be upset if Ben returns for another season. Yeah, man. And again, that ain't got nothing to do with Ben, guys. Y'all got to understand that. It's business. It's one of those things like, we always say you got to give credit to Bill Belichick because he doesn't hold on to people too long. You got to know when the door is closed. It's time to go ahead and let's get him through this season. Hopefully, he can go out as just feeling good about what was done in the season. Whether we go far or not, at least, he could go out feeling good about himself. And let's just go ahead and start that new era, man. Cole Still says, been watching for a few years now, especially while working. Just wanted to show some love and thank you for the content. Go Steelers. Hey, man, Cole Still, I really appreciate that. I really do. It's funny because it's things that I listen to, even other podcasts that is not Steeler related, but it's things that I listen to the same way that, I become this follower and it gets me through work and all that. And I play stuff in the background. So to know that I have become that for people, man, that's special. And very humbling, man. So I appreciate you giving me those kind words there. Darren Covington says, hey, Sim, we got over $43 million in cap space. Humphreys hurt his shoulder. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, man. And it might even be more than that. They're expecting the Steelers to be really high with cap. So there's a lot of things that could go on, man. I'm in favor of this. Let me throw this out there. Let's say we land one of them free agents. I'm still cool with getting a quarterback, right? I'm still cool with that, especially if it's a dude like Willis and you let him learn under the free agent. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But, of course, you want to target your draft picks in the right direction. But final thoughts on the team, man, and then I'll come into the chat and chop it up with you guys. It's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, man. The Steelers, this team is going to compete. This team is going to give you a false sense of hope in the sense of thinking that, man, if we could just get in, man, if we could just, this team ain't going to go far. I just don't see it. Right now, again, it's another game where the offense didn't produce. Remember I kept saying that? We saw them show that firepower against the Chargers late, right? We saw them not being able to do anything, however, against the Bengals. And then we saw tonight that the Steelers didn't even get the offense going until the fourth quarter. I just don't think we have the firepower. We have the horses, in my opinion. We got the talent. But with the offensive line being up and down and, maybe even the playbook being a little restricted with Ben Roethlisberger, and that could also be because of the offensive line. Maybe there's certain things we don't do because we don't have consistent we can't always trust the protection. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the reason why some of the things are so vanilla and the reason why Ben gets rid of the ball so fast. So, but again, we saw tonight when we were able to draw up a couple plays where we could go downfield. Like, again, the one where we did the little fake play action and rolled to the right, and then Deontay comes across. Beautiful. But I just don't have confidence, man, in this offense. And this has been a constant. I don't have any confidence in this offense that we're going to put up enough points to compete. And I don't have full confidence that our defense plays like this every week. Because we all can say that they don't. We have a defense that can play great in spots. We had a phenomenal game plan tonight, and obviously it worked out. But Yeah, I'm still right where I'm at, man, with the team. You know, I'm gonna root for them and hope we win each and every week, but I just don't have expectations. I think that's the best way to say it. I don't have any real expectations for this season. But all right, what you guys got, man? Let's see. Let's spend a little bit of time in here, a few minutes or so, 5 minutes or so. Let's see what y'all got. Mark Nethercutt says the O-line needs to stay consistent. Yes, they do. Walter Worthy says Canada has absolutely no confidence in the O-line. I'm starting to believe that as well, man. Luis, round of applause, another donation. Well, Luis, absolutely. If his legal issues are resolved, I mean, that, bruh, I wouldn't hesitate to do that. That's a big if. My man Marlon says Dungy didn't get the Bucks a championship. Sapp even said Gruden is what they needed to get over the hump. Dungy is what the coach needed. Okay. Whoa. I got a question for you guys off of what Marlon just said. Based off of what Marlon just said. So are you going to say that Gruden won with Dungy's team, or was Gruden needed to get them over the hump? I want you guys to answer that. I'm going to read what Marlon said again. Dungy didn't get the Bucks a championship. Sapp even said Gruden is what they needed to get over the hump. Dungy is what the coach needed. Using what Marlon just said there, how do you guys feel about saying that Gruden won with Dungy's team? Or did the team at that point need Gruden to win? Because y'all know where I'm going with this. Again, you know where I'm going with this. And again, I don't have a dog in the race, but the argument in Pittsburgh from most fans is always Tomlin only won because it was Cowher's team. Where if you guys believe what my man just said, what Marlon just said, that can't apply then, can it? I'm just saying. Night Wolf said, "Hey Sam, celebrating my 4th year as a subscriber." Hey man, thank you for that. Thank you for keeping it realistic for Steelers fans. By the way, you still look like Joe Green. I have told you many Steelers fans about your channel. Man, I really appreciate that, Night Wolf. And I forgot it was you that did say that. Hey, that's cool. And if you think I do, y'all should see my dad, because my dad does favor Joe Green at times, you know, with the beard and everything, head shape. He does. So that's interesting. Miss Lady Sade says, so I say, I don't care who the players are on the field. You still have to coach them. Man, come on, Sade. Sade, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Again, it don't matter if you like or dislike the current coach. I'm just saying. People say that stuff all the time. Like, the coach still don't got to do his job to win with the team. So, I don't know. Yep says, man, Tomlin's coaching style and personality is different. Yep. Stop comparing him to other coaches. Tomlin's leadership is respected by the NFL greats. Enough said. Listen, I'm going to give Yup a round of applause, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. I agree with Yup fully on that. He's different. All coaches have their things. And you're right, Yup. I don't understand why we just always try to compare people. Because, you know, a lot of times when people used to try to argue with me about the Steelers, they always say, man, look at Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick, I'm like, but he's not Bill Belichick. Nor is he Andy Reid. Nor is he Sean Payton. Nor is he Sean McVay. Nor is he Tony Dungy. Nor is he Bill Cow. He's not. They're different. Like, why do we always have to find some type of reason to make you feel better that the team lost? That's really all it is. A lot of times is you're trying to make yourself feel better for why the team didn't win a game. Because if you put it all on the table, There is no way you walk away from the Steelers' history and say that Bill Cowher was a terrible coach and Mike Tomlin was a terrible coach. You can't. You can't say that. You can find things that you didn't like about them, but that's all, bruh. I don't think you can come up with that conclusion. And that's what it should be about as Steelers fans. We should critique our coach. Yes. We should give our opinion on the coach. Yes. But I just think it gets a little too overblown when it's pure hate. Like, I personally don't know what it is that you could hate about the guy as a coach. I don't get it. He ain't that bad. He cannot survive in the NFL as long as he has if he was a horrible coach. That's all I'm saying. I just want us to love the team. That's it. We shouldn't, I don't know why we shouldn't spend so much time talking about our coaches unless they just doing, completely horrendous stuff. Unless he was pulling off Adam Gates type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to CT Pittman again, man. Round of applause. Another donation. Y'all guys are killing it tonight. Man, Sport 8. Round of applause. Y'all killing it. CT says, Sim, Canada has to draw up some plays for Friday move to attack the middle of the field. That kid is special. I could not agree with you more. Sport 8 says, they may not be a Super Bowl contender, but do you see them making a playoff run, and do you have that in them? The Steelers could make a playoff run based off of this caveat. The AFC is so close. And the Steelers just won a game against the number 1 seed. That's the only confidence that I have in saying, yeah, it's possible. Because of the team, nobody's really just running away with this thing. See what I'm saying? But as far as what I see from the team, no. I don't think from the eye test that I'm confident that they make a playoff run. But can they? Yeah. In this year's AFC, the Bengals just got smacked by the Chargers. See, everybody, as soon as you think they up, they come crashing down. Tennessee lost last week. I mean, it's just none of these teams. I don't know what's going on with the game tonight with Denver and Kansas City, but none of these teams are really running away with it. So could the Steelers beat some of these teams? Yeah, they probably could. But, I don't have confidence in saying that. I just don't. I have no confidence in it. All right, a couple more guys, then I'm out of here. Okay, Chiefs lead 10-3. See, look at that, 10-3. Football Mind says, my critique of Tomlin is that he's very animated when things are going well, but has a stale face when things are going bad. What does that mean? I just don't like that he's very high and low sometimes. See, the only thing I would say, Football Mind, let me read that again so everybody can hear it. He says, my critique of Tomlin is that he's very animated when things are going well, but has a still face when things are going bad. I just don't like that he's very high and low sometimes. But I don't know if I can agree with that's your opinion. I'm not attacking your opinion. I'm just replying to what you're saying. One, we don't know what's going through someone's mind when they're in that state. Two, I don't think that has an effect on anything. I mean, Bill Belichick is always still face, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, Football Mind, I'm not attacking what you're saying. I'm just saying that to me doesn't matter to me, because it's a natural emotion, right? You're winning, you're up, you're high. You're losing, you're kind of like, all right, poker face on, or you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that definitely couldn't be a critique of mine. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I respect your opinion though. You know that. You know that. Give me another one, guys, and then I'm out of here. Yeah, you said he just has a body language as if he as if he doesn't have the answer for anything. Yeah, but I don't see that. That to me, see when we're trying to read body language, that's not fair. It's a thing, but we don't know. We don't know what people are thinking in that moment. So it's hard to judge body language and critique that as a coaching style, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That one is a little off, in my opinion. And like I said, you said body language matters to you. It reflects the rest of the team. But see, I just can't. I can't say that, man. You know why? Because again, like I told you guys, when you watch some of that stuff, man, when they show some of the behind the scenes stuff with the Steelers and when we losing, and you know what happens when they show him on the sideline talking to the players, talking about don't blink. Remember, there was a famous one when he told Mike Mitchell and them, "You blink, I'll cut your eyelids off." We were losing by like 2 touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? Now maybe he's not animated, but that's the type of message he's giving the team. You watch the sounds of the NFL and the stuff that he says when they coming into the locker room, and that's what I'm saying. It's so much other stuff that goes on that we don't always see during the game. You know, I've just been fortunate enough to get my hands on some of this footage, and I'm like, oh, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I can't read into whatever little body language that we see when they pan the camera on them. You understand what I'm saying? But all right, man, I just don't want to keep talking about the Tomlin thing. Like, I really need to just get off of that. You know, some of you guys like him, some of you guys don't. To me, it's just a ridiculous thing that we talk about every week for no reason. But all right, man, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I will read one last comment here. Builder's Life says, compare Tomlin's win-loss record. Enough said. He's great. That's all that matters. It's the NFL wins. If it's what gets you paid and recognition, Tomlin wins. It's that simple. Stop the Tomlin hate. Yeah, and that's the only thing. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why there's so much disdain for the coach of your team, man. I mean, we can be mad with our coach when he does a bonehead thing. Hey, remember I told y'all last night that I did a little small pregame Ravens Steelers thing with my buddy Dez, that's a big time Ravens fan. And he said one of the biggest things he does not like about John Harbaugh is sometimes clock management. Well, we kind of saw it tonight. I don't understand why he let that clock run down to 2 minutes with 3 timeouts in his pocket. I would not have done that. I would have kept more time, ahead of the 2-minute warning, knowing that I have the 2-minute warning. I would not have let this clock run down that far. And see, stuff like that is the same stuff I be saying about Tomlin at times with clock management. But I don't know. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I hope you all have a great night. Y'all know the routine, man. If you haven't already, boom. Consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for all of you guys who did subscribe tonight. I saw quite a few of you do so thank you. Don't forget, if you are subscribed, make sure you cut on your notification bell so you know when these videos are live and rocking. The next time you will see me, guys, will be on Tuesday. Terrible Towel Tuesday. For you newcomers, that is the time when you get to call in and shine. It's phone call night. So that number that you see there on the screen, for those of you just listening, 619-924-0818. Again, 619-924-0818. Tuesday night is your night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I give a quick recap again of the game after rewatching, and the rest of that time is for you to get yours off. I love the phone calls. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Until then, hope you guys have a great night. If you still like football like I do, make sure you watch the rest of this game tonight, and make sure you watch tomorrow, man. That should be a pretty good game to watch tomorrow. Bills and Patriots. That's going to be a good one. Them Patriots. Keep an eye out on them Patriots, man. They coming. They're coming. But outside of that, man, again, if you like the video, like the video. Don't just say you do. Show me you do. Hit that thumbs up. But until then, have a great night. Have a good start to your week tomorrow. Stay safe. God bless. And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show, Ravens versus Steelers. Catch you guys on Tuesday. Peace.